Hey all, a huge shout out to our newest Patreon members, Alex and Scott. Welcome aboard. If you're looking for behind the scenes fun, click our Patreon link at the end of the video. That said, let's get to this episode. Hey all, again. My name is Jason from GameRave.com, and you've caught me in the act of presenting another episode of Pause Mode. A while back, on GameRave TV, I discussed the joys and reasons and angles of all things PlayStation greatest hits. Today, I'd like to shift that focus to the Dreamcast, equivalent of the Sega AllStars program. If you haven't watched the previous episode, or have no idea what a Sega AllStars game is, then let me spin you a web of orange and black intrigue. Essentially, when a Dreamcast game from either Sega or a third party sold exceptionally well, it was promoted to the All-Star tier. If approved, with this new title came three big changes. The first and most obvious is the branding change from the standard white or black cases to a combination black and orange style. Second, the Sega AllStars logo was slapped onto the orange bar of the case, and then onto the disc art as well. Finally, regardless of what the game was selling for previously, it was now a standard $19.95 MSRP. As I mentioned in the Greatest Hits video, a bestsellers line like this is essential to a game library, as it provides multiple services. The most important being that it shows newcomers and casual gamers what's selling really well on the system without the need of a sales associate for help. Second, it gave earlier release titles a second chance at life rather than suffocating under the weight of new game releases. The Dreamcast counts 17 of its 250 or so releases as bestsellers, roughly 7% of the library. Unlike the PlayStation's massive Greatest Hits library, which ran the gamut of genres, Sega's deck is much more condensed due to the system's short lifespan. Boiled down to the simplest of genres, the set is divided into sports titles and arcade games, with the sports folk having the higher member count. While the thought of a sports game going bestseller isn't too far of a stretch, there's an interesting observation here on the Dreamcast. If we compare EA Sports' PlayStation Greatest Hits, with a select few exceptions, it was usually 1 or 2 years of a series maximum released to the subset. Even the original PlayStation, with 10 years of service, only saw an average of 2 years per sports release. Sega had released 2 years worth of their sports games already to the All-Star Sega lineup, with the system's lifespan being cut too short to ever see if they'd continue the trend. Collecting for this subset is pretty easy, with only 2 real caveats. First, let's talk Easy Street. 15 of the 17 games are super easy to come by. If you don't mind used copies or a little legwork, most are in the $3 to $15 range. You can usually find some sellers bundling together a bunch of the sports games just to get rid of them. If you are a variant hunter like I am, you'll have 2 easy ones to snag. The first is the hologram variant for NFL 2K, and the other is Sonic the Hedgehog's insert swap. So, first caveat. When things got a bit dicey and pricey are the All-Stars releases for Marvel vs. Capcom and Power Stone. Marvel vs. Capcom is actually fairly uncommon, but does make a monthly appearance on eBay. With rare exceptions of impulse bidders, a patient person can track this one down for about $20, maximum $40. Power Stone, regretfully, is the wallet killer. For starters, it's a bit more uncommon than Marvel vs. Capcom, but it is by no means scarce. Usually at least 1 copy will sneak its way onto eBay every month, at 2 months most. Sadly, thanks to the combination of it being an amazing game and the variant being released so late in the system's life, this one will set you back anywhere from $40 to $75 based on condition. A sealed copy could easily go for more than that. If you're going to go for this subset, track down these 2 first. Once you have them secured, it's basically just tossing loose change at the monitor to clean up the other 15. The second caveat is the Toys R Us exclusive bundle. Basically, Toys R Us had a jillion copies of 3 sports games, NFL, NBA, and World Series 2K1. The 3 separate games were shrink-wrapped together, a Toys R Us barcode slapped onto it, and then the world's worst Avery label attached to the corner. These bundles sat in stores forever, to the point that you could have bought all 3 games for 99 cents before the bundles finally disappeared. This bundle is not an official release, and was clearly assembled by hand by Toys R Us either at the store level or at their warehouses or both. There's been debates about whether or not this should be included as an official release in terms of collections and variants, but my stance is that's not part of the full set. It's cool to have, don't get me wrong, but not needed for a full set, variant or otherwise. Of all the subsets I've covered in the past, the Sega AllStars is one of my favorites. This set is chock full of multiplayer couch co-op fun with amazing high-resolution graphics that still last to this day, especially Marvel vs. Capcom. Alright guys, that does it for Pause Mode. Do you have a favorite AllStars release? Had the Dreamcast gone on to bigger and better things, what top 5 games would you have liked to have been seen released to the series? Comment below, let's get the conversation started. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and as always, play, laugh, love. We'll see you then.
Everything's all mixed up.